Hello, Murphy staff. I hope you're having a wonderful summer. We're back at Murphy here getting ready for the next school year, and I wanted to take a few minutes to talk you through the master schedule for next year. With all of the restructuring talk that's been going on, things are finally falling into place, and I wanted to start getting some information out there as soon as possible because we will obviously be going over all of this at the beginning of the year, but it's going to take a lot of time to digest and think through, and many teams are already getting ready over the summer to start planning for next year, so I want to get this information out. I'd like to thank the building leadership team that's come in over the summer and given up their time to give some feedback and help in developing all of this. And so overall, it's a very exciting schedule, but also something that we're going to just be working really hard at. But the end result for the kids is going to be really, really awesome and provide them some great opportunities. So we'll start talking about our minutes here. As you know, one of the major changes that's happening next year is the student hours. Our students will be coming in at 8:50 when the first bell rings, and then leaving school at 3:30. Which makes a 6-hour and 40-minute day, or 400 minutes. And our minutes are going to be broken down as follows. We'll have about 10 minutes in the morning for them to come in and get ready and run through announcements, 60 minutes for reading, 30 minutes for writing, 60 minutes for guided reading, math 60, our IE period where we'll be doing our Tier 2 interventions will be 45 minutes, science and social studies approximately 25, lunch and recess 20, our two specials periods will take up 30 minutes each, and then about 10 minutes in the afternoon to pack up and get ready for the day, leaving. Okay, the master schedule has been put up in this format with the time going across the top and our grade levels going down the sides. And each of these little boxes is 5 minutes, which makes up a 15-minute segment for the big boxes across the top. And this runs from 8:50 when the doors open to 3:20, or this line here is 3:15, so 3:20 is when instruction would stop and we'd pack up for the day and get some announcements and out the door. The unique thing about Murphy, as many of you know, is that we share our gym as a cafeteria. And so the first thing we had to do in building the schedule is get our lunch and recesses sorted out. And so we will be having our specials ending by 11:30 so that there can be a 10-minute setup in the gym. And then the first graders will be coming in at 11:40, spending 20 minutes in the lunch period, then heading out for recess. Once the first graders get through the line, second graders will be coming in at 11:50 and have 20 minutes for lunch, then heading out for recess and sitting on the other side of the gym. And then third grade comes in at 12, fourth grade coming in at 12:10, fifth grade coming in at 12:20. So very similar to this year. Although this is one lunch period less than what we've been running. We did run 6 lunch periods, but we're going to run 5 this year. The next thing that we wanted to do is build in our guided reading time. And the conversation we've been having is to have some staggered times across the school day so that various people in the building can have an impact at multiple grade levels. And so with our guided reading, we're looking to do flex grouping, and our reading specialist, Patty and Janine, along with our RTI interventionist, who is Ruel, and our bilingual resource person, Eduardo, and our ESL resource person, Fazia. Those 5 people will be pushing in to assist with guided reading at each of the grade levels. And so from 9 to 10, we'll be having first grade. From 10 to 11, they will move to fourth grade. From 11 to 12, going to third grade. And then from 105 to 205, fifth grade. And second grade ends up to guided reading from 220 to 320. So as you can imagine, having all those extra people will really be able to, the grade levels will really be able to take your group sizes down and really have an impact on the kids' reading levels. The next thing that was added in were the specials periods. And so the 30-minute blocks for 4th and 5th grade are kind of back-to-back. And what we're doing is we're running 7 specials in 5 days. So there will be some days where the students have 2 specials, and other days where they just have one. And I'll talk about that a little more in a second. But from 9 to 10, fifth graders will be running specials. From 10 to 11, second and third graders. And then the first graders will have their first specials before lunch, and then their next group of specials after lunch. And this second set of specials is just art and music, so it does not conflict with the gym time down here. So let's take a little bit of look a little further into how that would look. Here's Mike and Erica and Mike Urson's schedule, and Walter, our computer person. Our fourth graders have specials first with Mike, and then the fifth graders come in to music on these days. We're going to be running A, B, C, D, and E days rather than Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Because as you know, we have so many Mondays off in the course of a school year that we need to keep rotating through these days so that the kids have each special an equal number of times. So Mike will start off with fifth graders and then have fourth graders the next period. And Walter will start off with fifth graders also and go to fourth graders next. So the specials teachers have most of their specials in the morning. Then they have their lunch. And this lunch supervision that I have on here is wrong, so please don't get your blood pressure up too high yet. I am going to have some lunch supervision, but it won't be for a full 40 minutes for everybody. And then in the afternoons, we will be having the IE periods. And so all the specials teachers will be available to push into the IE. I'll come back and look at the specials from the classroom teacher set in just a minute, so then it'll make a little more sense. All right, let's go to the IE next. So as I just finished saying, most of the specials are in the morning. Our IE periods are going to be in the afternoon. And for those of you who are new to our building, the intention behind the IE is to give all of our students an opportunity to get intervention or enrichment based on their needs. And so the teams of teachers will sit down and look at the kids and determine which kids need to be pushed and get something extra, and which kids need some really intensive interventions to get them up to grade level. Our first and fourth grade students will be having IE at the same time. And as you can see, if all the specials were in the morning, we have our 7 specials teachers who can assist 4 and 3 to be pushing into these grade levels and breaking the kids up into smaller groups. From 1:30 to 2:30, second and third grade have IE, and then at the end of the day, fifth grade has IE. Now, I realize that our 7 specials peoples will probably need to be have 4 of them push into IE, and then other people helping out with the second grade guided reading and maybe first and third grade so that it stays equal. The other thing is that with first and fourth grade being at the same time, fourth grade will have access to both the Read 180 and System 44 lab, and so hopefully we'll be able to service more people. With second and third grade at the same time, third grade can have access to both of those labs, and then obviously fifth grade, not having anyone else having IE, they will have access to both the System 44 and Read 180 lab. Okay, then there are just some pieces that still have to be filled into these remaining blank spots. There's writing, the math block, reading block, and science and social studies. And so these are the components where you know, there are people who are working cross grade level, and so these components of the schedule need to stay the same. But if, you know, second grade had their math block here or their math block here, that wouldn't affect the other grade levels, and it wouldn't affect the specials teachers or the guided reading push-in teachers. So I've mapped that out, and here are the missing components from all the schedules. We're adding in an hour-long reading block. We're adding in an hour-long math block. Each grade level has a writing and science social studies period blocked in throughout the course of the day. The science and social studies periods are when we're looking for our Tier 3 interventions to be occurring. And so if our social worker or psychologist is running a group, that's when these would be occurring at the grade level. Kids would still have access to Tier 2 intervention and then Tier 3 intervention later on. At 5th grade, we've got these butted up together so that some of our interventions could run that whole period of time if needed. Okay, so let's look at this from a teacher perspective. Here's Nancy, Janine, Ruel, Eduardo, and Fazia, who are running guided reading across the course of the day. So that piece is pretty straightforward. If we get into a classroom teacher, let's bring this down to, I'm just going to bring this down to 2nd grade. Here you can see how the specials fits in a little bit better. We'll take Karen's class as an example. Her specials periods are right in here from 10 to 11. And on the A day, she will have her kids, and then they will go to the reading writing lab. On the B day, the kids will go to music, then they'll go to PE with Mr. Urson. On the C day, they will go to art and computer. So there's 2 days during the week where Karen will have a full hour off. Then she'll have the kids in here, and they go to library, have the kids, they go to PE with Ms. Bloomfield. One of the conversations that's been occurring about these 3 days where a teacher has the kids for this time is to run second steps, or to some of the special ed teachers have mentioned doing some progress monitoring, so that might be a nice opportunity in there. It's a little bit different for Beth if we move down here. She has her day, 2 days where she has an hour off on the C and the D day, and then on the A, B, and E day she'll have the kids for the first half, and then they will go off to their specials over here. So hopefully that gives you just a brief introduction. I'll be sending this out, and we'll be having lots more conversations. And you know, it's the type of thing where the more people get looking at it and processing through it and figuring out, the better off we will all be. So thanks for listening. If you've stuck around this far, have a wonderful day.